On March 29, 1986, a group of kids in Marbury, Alabama were having a birthday party when they found my remains hidden in the corner of a root cellar. Someone had shot me 3 times in the head, then wrapped my body in a comforter. Evidence indicated that I had passed away at another location, and then I was brought to the cellar. Investigators think I'd been there for close to 6 years before my remains were discovered. I had extensive dental work done when I was alive, though I was missing the 4 front teeth located on the bottom row. I also had a partial top plate with 7 teeth. I was between 30 and 50 years of age. My hair was brown and slightly curled. I weighed no more than 150 pounds. My height was estimated to be 5'2" to 5'6". The only composite of my face shows that I had a long nose with a skinny bridge. Even with my mouth slightly ajar, my front teeth were very noticeable. I may have had an overbite, but this remains unclear. Despite the extensive work done to my teeth, I probably didn't come from a wealthy background, but I seemingly made enough money to afford the procedures. My death seems very personal, so I most likely knew my killer. They might have been an abusive husband or an ex-lover with a score to settle. Maybe I died because I knew something and had to be silenced. Though I was discovered on an occupied property, the family that lived there had no idea who I was, nor did the previous owner. Hardly anyone had gone into the cellar due to the fear of snakes and other potential hazards. It's suspected that I wasn't from the immediate area because no one had reported a missing woman who matched my description. My killer could have seen the root cellar as a random opportunity to dump my body. At the very least, they were probably an acquaintance of the previous owner or had done a fair amount of handiwork around the property. But if I wasn't from the immediate area, this could also apply to my killer. They might have been passing through and found the cellar by sheer coincidence. My case remains cold, and nobody has ever been charged. Due to an unfortunate instance of negligence after all these years, my remains cannot be located by the current forensics team. While DNA could be extracted from the same bullets that took my life, it's a risky move, and there's no guarantee that the evidence won't be destroyed in the process. The only way my identity could be determined at this point is with my dental records. Do you recognize me?
On June 8, 2002, my body was discovered in a shallow grave in Goldsboro, North Carolina. There was a black hair tie on my wrist. I wore a size large rayon cotton blend dress. Underneath my dress was a white underwire bra in the size 38C. I also had a white metal ring with the word India engraved on the inside of the band. When they found me, I had been dead for at least 6 months. Some reports claimed that my remains were skeletal, whereas other sources described me as mummified. Due to these conditions, they were unable to identify me. DNA testing eventually revealed that I was African American. I was believed to be between 30 and 45 years of age. My bones were used to estimate my height. I was at least 5'1" and no taller than 5'5". At some point during my life, I had surgery on the lower right side of my abdomen due to the presence of a 3-inch scar. This indicates that I may have experienced a health issue, which involved my appendix, kidney, small intestine, or fallopian tube. Like most Jane Does, it's unlikely that I was from the immediate area. And while an official cause of death was never determined for my passing, most people who come across my case believe that I was the victim of foul play, solely because I had been left in a shallow grave. When they reconstructed my face, some of the key features were prominent cheekbones, a noticeable gap between my 2 front teeth, and a well-rounded jawline. These features were highlighted because it's best believed that these are the characteristics that will ultimately lead to my identification. Do you recognize me?
On the evening of August 24th, 1982, a couple of mushroom hunters in Frederick, Maryland discovered an old trunk concealed among the leaves in Granville State Park. Upon opening the trunk, they found my remains. I had been beaten and possibly strangled before someone placed me into the trunk. My time of death remains unclear. I might have died as far back as 1972, but I also could have died just a few months before my body was found. I was initially believed to be as old as 45, though further investigation revealed that I was between the ages of 17 and 27. It's possible that I grew up in a privileged or wealthy background, as my teeth had undergone an extensive amount of dental work in the years leading up to my death. When examining my remains, the forensic anthropologist noted that there was a significant amount of wear on my hip bones. This is evidence of a very athletic lifestyle. I may have been a cheerleader, a gymnast, or worked as an acrobat in the circus. The anthropologist also believes that I may have experienced several physical injuries during my lifetime. I experienced a condition known as spondylolysis. This is a stress fracture that occurs in the lumbar vertebrae of the spine. It's usually asymptomatic. When I was alive, I might have complained about a fair amount of back pain. I had wavy dark brown hair that went down to my shoulders. With my athletic background, someone would probably recognize me better if they remembered my hair being placed back into a ponytail or a bun. My ears were very prominent, and this is perhaps my most notable feature. Do you recognize me?
On October 7th, 1998, my body was discovered in a wooded area near Interstate 20 in Weatherford, Texas. My cause of death was determined to be a gunshot wound to the head, most likely self-inflicted. I had perished about 4 weeks before they found my remains. I was between 35 to 55 years of age, with a height that was estimated to be between 5'3" to 5'7". I'd undergone some of the best dental work possible. These procedures may have cost up to $35,000, and this indicates that I most likely came from a privileged background or I had a job that paid very well. I'd undergone a hysterectomy. The scar lines on my chest led forensics to believe that I'd had a mastectomy as well. It's possible that this was the result of breast implants having been removed. Given the circumstances in which I'd passed, I'd probably been battling depression or another mental health issue. Do you recognize me?